गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. The difference between Jiva and Ishvara is quite distinct, and that is the reason the Jiva continuously strives to merge in the Ishvara. Because he also wants to be free, because in the essence Jiva is essentially Ishvara. But what does it mean to be Jiva and what does it mean to be an Ishvara? Jiva is that who is under the clutches of time, space and objectivity. Jiva is born in time and dies in time. Jiva occupies some space but not rest of the space. And the Jiva defines himself based upon the attachment to various objects and beings. For example, the Jiva says, I am a son because of the mother. I am an employee because of the company, etc., etc. So, time, space and objectivity condition and limit the Jiva to express or invoke the Ishvara. What about Ishvara? Ishvara is not under the clutches of time, space and objectivity. Ishvara is the master of time, space, objectivity, or we can say Ishvara alone is expressing through his potentiality the Maya as time, space and objectivity. So he expresses, supports, manifests as time, space and objectivity, yet he is independent of time, space and objectivity. Such is Ishvara. He does not come under the clutches of time, space and objectivity. Jiva comes under the clutches. Ishvara does not define himself based on time, space and objectivity or Prakriti or Maya, whereas Jiva defines himself in every thought. He defines himself only on the basis of his conditionings of time, space and objectivity. Jiva is the effect and the cause of Jiva is Ishvara or Maya. Why do we say that? Because, as we just said, Jiva appears as Jiva only because of his obsession with his conditionings of time, space and objectivity. So Jiva considers himself to be a body, Jiva considers himself to be born in time, Jiva considers himself as he cannot live without breath or a thinking person, etc., etc. All these are aspects of Prakriti. Therefore, as long as he is thinking of himself as body, breath, mind, intellect, this is only an expression of Prakriti. This is not the expression of Ishvara. Then what is the expression of Ishvara? Ishvara's expression is the life which is expressing through this matter vestibule. And this expression is very unique. It is an expressionless expression. Ishvara is everything that there is. There is nothing outside the Ishvara. Just like everything is ocean, there is nothing outside the ocean. Yet waves appear on the ocean, thinking they are separate from the ocean and therefore begin the journey spiritual to realize the ocean. But the one who's standing outside clearly sees the wave is in and through nothing but the ocean. In fact, really speaking, there is nothing called wave, there is only the ocean. Similarly, a Mahatma, a realized master, looks at us. He says, "You are nothing but the divinity." But we say, "No, sir, it is not like that. We have to realize. How can you just say that you are the divinity? Is it that simple? It cannot be so simple." Our insistence on not accepting ourselves as the infinite reality, the Satchidananda Swarup, Paramananda Swarup, this insistence, on the other hand, it's not accepting its essential nature, and on the other hand, the Jiva insists that he is the body, he is the breath, he cannot live without time, space and objectivity and so on. So that same Jiva, who is none other than Ishvara essentially, this imaginary entity which we consider ourselves to be needs to be dissolved. And the only way to dissolve it is by samarpan, by surrender, by the grace, by sharanagati. No amount of efforts that you put in life or on the seat of meditation are ever going to bring about the dissolution of this ego. Yet, the efforts must be put. Efforts are not going to be put to realize the infinite nature. Efforts are being put to come to a point in our sadhana, in our this search for merging into the infinite, come to this point that no amount of efforts is ever going to bring it about. Because efforts are in Prakriti, in matter, mind and body being an aspect of matter, so how can matter be willing to remove itself? It will. Nobody wants to die. Everyone wants to live eternally. Mind doesn't want to die. Body doesn't want to die. So efforts are at the level of thought, word and deed. Thought, word and deed cannot remove the ignorance, cannot remove the influence of matter. It will keep you in the loop. Then what is to be done? Then how is realization possible? Only by grace. And this grace is not somewhere outside. Just like ocean is inherent within a wave, similarly, Ishvara is also inherent within you. Through your sadhana, through your practices, if you are not able to accept yourself and remain silent and free of all doings, if you are not able to do that, then offer all your actions, all your karma at the feet of the Lord. Meditate on the Lord. With the proper bhav, be devoted to Him. And the more we think about the infinite, the more we think about the Ishvara, to that extent, the Prakriti which has given rise, because of whose attachment the individuality, this phenomena of individuality is appearing, it starts dissolving. Just like wave is a phenomena, similarly individuality is also a phenomena. Just like sunrise and sunset is a phenomena, similarly individuality is also a phenomena. And within this phenomena is the thinking, conceptualizing, desiring, wanting, etc., etc. So this phenomena needs to dissolve. Dissolving of this phenomena means giving up of, surrendering of doership and enjoyership. The more we remain attached to karma, to that extent doership and enjoyership will be fanned and they will increase in their intensity. And as long as all the karma at the thought, word and deed level are surrendered at the feet of the Lord, meaning your attitudinal disposition is that all thoughts are because of the grace of the Divine, all speech that is coming out is because of His grace, all actions happening at the level of body also are because of His grace alone. Everything, all the experiences and non-experiences are only because of Him. So Lord, the infinite becomes your central theme. And in that focus, the world drops away. Just like when we go to sleep. In the contemplation of the sleep, the world drops away from the mind. and we get sucked into the sleep. Exactly the same way. We get sucked into the Lord, we get sucked into our own nature on the seat of meditation, or even anywhere as you're moving around. It can happen anytime. Another difference between Jiva and Ishvara is Jiva has the equipment of Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, mind, intellect, memory and ego. The Ishvara, the macro, he doesn't have the faculty of Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. We become disturbed if we start losing memory. We start feeling guilty if we don't express appropriate emotions in a particular environment. And ego expresses as the doership and enjoyership, I have already told you. The whole world keeps telling us, you must have convictions, you must live your convictions. Yes, at the world level we must. As long as we think we are the body, we must have convictions. But when we come to this point of difference between the Jiva and the Ishvara, Ishvara has no convictions because conviction is about something other than you. For Ishvara, there is nothing else other than him. He alone is. I alone am. So what will he get convinced about? So he supports everything as if, but he is not thinking of something other than him, because there is nothing else other than him. Time is not other than him, space is not other than him, objects are not other than him. The whole cosmos, he alone is. So how can he think about it? So for Ishvara, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar are absent. For Jiva, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar are present. And that is what precipitates the appearance of a Jivahood. And this Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar only come about because of this spirit as if identified with body, breath, mind, intellect. Then alone this precipitation comes about. This is a phenomena. You have not created it, has happened. Sunrise and sunset you have not created. It is happening every day. It is helpful. You go to sleep at a particular time, you wake up at a particular time, and you are able to, at the worldly level, you are able to function efficiently. So this phenomena you have not created, it is happening. So let it happen. Don't get identified with the phenomena. Because if you get identified with the comings and goings of the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, with the coming and goings of thought, comings and goings of emotions, comings and goings of child, teenage, youth, middle age, etc., etc., the more your attention is on the change of any sort, to that extent individuality will continue to express itself. the ego will continue to express itself because he's taking the ownership that I am a product of this change. I am affected by this change. I must find some solution from this change. Till then, ego will be there. But if you remain a witness to all the change, undisturbed, equanimous, without attachment, slowly, 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 such an individual the individuality or the ego starts melting, and in its same place, the Ishwaratva starts expressing. And then such a person comes to be called by others as Bhagavan. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramakrishna Paramahams, and so on. Why they call him Bhagavan? Because the humanity sees the Ishwaratva expressing through that person. Does that person call himself Bhagavan? No. He is just as he is. So in this way, this clarity about why and how we are stuck in micro and what is the scope of the macro, how it functions, just with one or two examples we have shown, then naturally again your question will be, then what should I do? What sadhana should I do? Again we are going into the mind. What should I do? Doing means again precipitation of ego. Remain silent. Allow the Lord to reveal. Don't be afraid of silence. If any mantra comes, let it come by itself. If silence comes, let it come by itself. If any other thoughts come, let them come. Don't fight anything. Don't reject anything. Don't resist anything in life. The more you resist, more reaction is there. More reaction is there, then likes, dislikes, joys, sorrows, they precipitate and the individuality becomes strong. Water does not resist anything. Its goal is only to reach the ocean. Okay, some places it has to take a longer journey. It doesn't mind as long as it is moving towards the ocean. Don't resist anything in life. That is how the Lord functions in life. Ocean doesn't resist the expression of any wave. Gold does not resist any expression of an ornament. So you don't resist any thought, emotion, deed, words that are coming out. Because of old habits, may they be good or bad. Remain neutral. Remain a witness. Do not get influenced by them. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel anxious. Just be a mere witness. Slowly, 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 as long as you remain as the witness, the mind will undo itself. Realization of God or reality is not an experience. It is an experienceless experience. Nothing has to happen. You will remain just as you are. Those people who talk about transportation to heaven and it was a transcendental experience, they are still caught up in mystical experiences. They are still in an experience. It will come and it will go. Don't give heed to it. That is not a realization. Realization is just a being. Without becoming.